So I've been getting a good bit of questions over the past year on running a wholesale business over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So what I want to do, I just want to do a quick Q&A to answer some of the repetitive questions I've been getting, and hopefully this can be helpful to you. Hit the like button and let's get into it. Now, the first question that I get a lot is, do I offer a service to help set up the automation for your REI reply? Currently, I don't, but if you send me a message over on Instagram, I definitely wouldn't mind answering the question and potentially helping you with some of the automation. And I also have multiple videos on how you can set up your automation for REI reply. But as of right now, I'm a little bit busy when it comes down to running a wholesale business and of course running this channel as well. So it's kind of hard to actually put time aside to actually help somebody set up their automation for REI reply. I've been doing it for years now, and I constantly make adjustments to my campaigns and to my triggers and to my workflows in order to make sure that it continues to run efficiently and I have high deliverability rates. So feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok or whatever if you have some quick questions. The second question that I get a lot, even though I have multiple videos on this, is how to find the owner of the subject property that you're trying to get under contract. Man, there's multiple ways you can do it. You can use a paid way, such as PropStream, which I have linked below. You can go the free route, and you can use your county's GIS website, which I do that a lot as well too. And all you have to do is go to Mecklenburg GIS. All you got to do is type that in Google. And the same information that you will get out of PropStream, you can get it there as well. It'll have the seller's name, it'll have their mailing address, they'll have what the property is currently zoned, they'll have the tax value of the property, they have all that information inside of the GIS website as well too. So definitely take advantage of that if you can't afford to spend $99 for PropStream every single month. Now, of course, from there, once you gather that information, you can go to a free service such as True People Search, put that information in, put the first name in, put the last name in, put the address in, and you can search the seller and see if you can get a phone number for that particular seller as well too. And guess what? You have potential phone numbers, you have the seller names, and you did it all for free. Now, those numbers may not be spot on. I normally use a paid service whenever I'm skip tracing data, but that is definitely a free route that you can go if you don't have the money in order to figure out who the seller is and to get in contact with the seller. Another question that I get a lot, and I also have a lot of videos on this topic too, is how can I find cash buyers? In today's market, there are many different ways you can find buyers. If you're going into a virtual market, I would recommend reaching out to realtors and let the realtors do a whole lot of the back end work. If they work with investor buyers, they can get your property under contract. You can come to some type of agreement with the realtor where you can let them add their fee on top of the asking price. Or a lot of time, these realtors make money on the back end anyway, because when the buyer buys and they fix up the property, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna most likely list it with that realtor, and they're gonna get their commission from that point on as well too. But also leave wiggle room in between in order for the realtor to earn a fee on top of your asking price as well too. But what they'll be able to do, they'll be able to get their buyers in that particular property, and guess what? Once the buyer closes on the property, you have a new buyer in that particular market that you can potentially sell multiple deals to throughout the years to come. Another way you can find buyers also is PropStream. PropStream is a tool that you can use for multiple purposes. You can go in, type in your subject property, say, hey, I want to find buyers that bought for cash or as a non-owner occupant in a 0.5 mile radius of that particular property. Or you can just pull buyers in that particular county or city that bought recently as well too. And it has to be someone in that list that is currently looking for properties that you can get in and get your property sold whenever it comes to looking for buyers. Another way that you can find buyers is at your local courthouse. You can go into the courthouse, and I don't know how the pre-foreclosures work in your particular area, but if you have buyers bidding on the property, guess what? It's all documented in a pre-foreclosure book at your courthouse. You can go to that particular courthouse, look up that buyer, and the phone numbers will be there as well too, so you won't have to skip trace, and boom, you have a buyer that is currently buying in today's market. So definitely keep that in mind. And there's multiple more ways that you can find buyers, but I just wanted to give you a few options that you have. Definitely feel free to check out my cash buyers last video too. All the videos are going to be linked below that I'm mentioning, and feel free to check those out as well. Another question that I get a lot, especially over on Instagram, is what is the best way for me to get started wholesaling? That is a tough question because I don't know your current situation. I don't know how much funds you have put aside for wholesaling every single month. If you can't come up with a monthly budget that you can put towards a business that you can do consistently for the next year or two, I don't recommend spending any money at all. What I would recommend doing is using free ways to generate leads, such as driving for dollars. Just get you a notepad and a pen and go around different neighborhoods and look for properties that are just in distress and build you a list that way. Now, if you were in a situation where you did have a budget, of course, you can use an app such as Deal Machine to go out and take a picture of the property, add it to the Deal Machine app, and it'll let you know if the property is an absentee owner property or if the homeowner actually occupies the property. Now, so as you can see, one way is going to speed up your process. The next way is going to take you a little bit longer to get it done. What I recommend, if you're looking to get started, and you have a $300 to $500 marketing budget, put money aside for tools that you can afford to spend that money on for months and months to come, and use those tools to speed up the process to you potentially getting your first deal. But if you don't have it, use all the free tools such as True People Search or your county's GIS website like I mentioned before, and just understand that it may take you longer to close your first deal using the free tools instead of using paid tools if you don't have a budget. But that would be the best way that I recommend to get started, is just to know what you can afford to do and make your decisions based off of your budget. Another question that I get a lot too is, do you have a real estate contract that I can use? I had a contract that I was giving out before, but I stopped giving it out because it may be an issue in your state with the particular contract that I use, to where you may not be protected the way I would be here in North Carolina. So I would recommend you go out to your real estate attorney or your title company and use a contract that they recommend. You can either go to Facebook, real estate investment groups, and use one of their contracts. I just don't want to be liable for sending you a contract that may not work in your particular state, city, or county. Now, the third question I have for you, matter of fact, it's not even a question. Please just hit the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell so YouTube can see this video as valuable, and they'll push it out to a larger audience, and we can continue to grow here on the channel. Now let's get back into the Q&A. Now the next question that I get a lot is, what dollar do I use? The dollar that I use in my wholesaling business is Call Tools. It's a 10-line dollar. They just increased the price a little bit to $119, and of course you got to pay for each individual number that you have, and it's around $2 to $3 per number. Don't dial over 75 sellers per day per phone number, because you'll be at risk of getting your numbers marked as spam. And I have a whole lot of phone numbers that I use. I probably pay close to $100 extra for phone numbers on top of using a dollar, but guess what? It's well worth it because I get a better pickup rate. The next question is, what text message platform that I use? The text message platform that I use is REI Reply. You can cold call out of REI Reply. You can send ringless voicemails, send text messages out of there. You can send emails. It's just something that you can use for multiple purposes. And guess what? It's cheaper than Call Tools. It's $99 per month. So if you want to do all your marketing inside of REI Reply, feel free to do it. They may be able to give you that $49 rate if you don't use all the AI stuff and the spend tax and stuff like that, but you just have to reach out to see. But from this point on, if you're not grandfathered in, it's going to be a $99 rate every single month for you to use REI Reply. But it's well worth it if you set it up correctly and you spend the time to specialize it for your business. The next question that I get a lot, how much do you recommend to get started in this business? You can get started with any amount in this business, but to be honest, if you have $500 extra every single month to put into this business, you'll be well on your way to getting your first deal in no time, as long as you watch my video on how you can spend $500 to generate your first deal, and you just remain consistent and you be patient with the process, you'll have a deal coming in no time. So feel free to check that video out. It's going to be linked below as well. The next question that I get a lot is, I'm not closing deals consistently. what am I doing wrong? 9 times out of 10, you're not following up with your sellers the way you need to. If you're in a competitive market, you need to follow up with your sellers and build rapport with your sellers even more than the next person. If you're just starting out, you actually at an advantage because these larger wholesalers, if they're generating 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 leads a day, and you only generate 1 to 3 leads, you're able to build a better relationship with each one of your sellers because you can really key in and focus in on these particular leads. When I tell you 70 to 80% of your leads are going to come from follow-up, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I went back a couple of times and saw where I had leads in my Podio system that I weren't following up with correctly, and guess what? They closed a month, 2 months, a year after I generated that particular lead. So 9 times out of 10, why you're not generating deals or generating deals consistently because you don't have the proper follow-up in place. Get that dialed in and you should be okay. Another question I get a whole lot is, do I have a mentorship service? Currently, I don't. That's not something that I'm really looking to get into. I'd rather spend the time giving out free content, and I've been doing this over a year now. I just feel like I'm not to a point where I can take on mentorships, and it just don't make sense for me to do it. But it's a lot of people out here that have mentorship services that you can go through. Now, if you would like to schedule a one-on-one with me for 30 minutes to an hour, I do have links in my bio where you can schedule those calls for me. Now, those are paid calls, but they're not mentorship services, but feel free to do that. Another crazy question that I get all the time: is the business even real? If you already have that belief in your head that the business isn't real, just go ahead and stop pursuing this particular business, because the more you go in with that negative mindset, the more you will not receive the proof of concept because you already thinking that this is not possible. And that's all I'm pretty much going to spend on that particular question. But like I said earlier, if you put in consistent work and you be patient with the process, trust me, you will get proof of concept in no time. So those are mainly the questions that I get on a daily basis. If you have any questions that you would like for me to answer here on YouTube or Instagram, just leave a comment down below with the question that you may have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Like I said, I get a lot of questions, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.